Hey guys, what's up? Just got off the bus about, I would say 5 minutes ago, 4.5 minutes ago. But I wanted to come on here and just give my overall thoughts on the news that broke yesterday and people are still talking about today. And that is the fact that Jeff Hardy was arrested on 3 accounts, basically, of DUI and, driving with, a suspended license and, braking. Basically, like I said, he was arrested for 3 accounts of DUI, like, of course, driving under the influence, driving with a suspended license, and just basically overall breaking, I guess you could say, protocol that he was under. And because of that, he was arrested. He got himself out on basically overall $30,000 bail, and he is arranged for court, I guess within the next couple of weeks or something. And everybody was wondering, okay, when is enough? When is this guy gonna wake up and get his act together? And people were also wondering, okay, what is Tony Khan going to do about this, seeing as though this has happened under his watch? And Tony Khan surprisingly did what a lot of people felt was the right thing. He suspended Jeff without pay. He said, Jeff, look, you want to come back, hey, no problem, but get yourself some help. Get yourself rehabilitated. Get yourself treatment and everything and all that. And I think I have to go back and reread it, but I think he even offered it or something. I mean, Tony Khan to get, Tony Khan, I think even Matt offered to get Jeff treatment, or basically told him get yourself some help, and once you prove that, hey, you're back on track, you can come back and everything. And according to reports, Jeff is open to getting treatment. He's open to actually getting help and everything, to better himself, and everything and all that. But the question is, obviously, some people are going to ask is, will he? Is he going to get the treatment, that he should get, even if it's offered to him by the likes of a Tony Khan and maybe his brother, Matt? Is he going to get the help he needs? Is he finally going to wake up and realize, enough's enough? And, as I've said a lot in videos, and other people probably saying the same thing, it's a wait and see situation. But here's what's also interesting about this. This happening while Jeff is under contract to AEW, of course, is going to basically cause a lot of anti-AEW drones, fans, overall wrestling fans, observers, whatever you want to call it, to criticize AEW and point out that this is obviously not the first time controversy has basically found its way to the doorstep and into the house of All Elite Wrestling, which to an extent is, I guess you could say, kind of true. It is kind of true to an extent. But again, here's the thing. Some people have said it themselves. Tony Khan is not the one to basically... Tony Khan is not the one that put, the alcohol in Jeff's hands. He's not the one that offered the alcohol to Jeff. He's not the one that gave him the keys to drive while intoxicated. He didn't do any of that. So Tony and AEW are not at fault here when it comes to what happened this past weekend, or this past Monday, or whenever it did. Like I said, whenever it did, but they're not really at fault. They were just as surprised as everybody else. Even Matt said he was disappointed on his social media. So the thing is, the only person that should take the blame is Jeff. Now I know Booker T came out and said that AEW should take some of the responsibility for allowing Jeff to, do all these high-flying, scary, dives that he's been doing since he's gone to AEW. And, Booker has a right to his opinion. He's a Hall of Famer. He's been around the block a lot longer than a lot of us. Like you said, he's been around the block a lot longer than a lot of us. He's earned his right. Like I said, he's a Hall of Famer. He's earned his right to say his piece. But there are going to be some people that will go against him because they'll look at it like, really, Booker, you're going to say AEW shares some of the responsibility, and in response, knowing how Booker probably hears about these things because of his podcast and his radio show, he'll probably be like, yeah, I do believe they should take the responsibility, or at least part of it. Now, that's the key word there, from what I understand. Booker's not saying they should take full responsibility. I'll give him credit there. He's saying they should take part of it. Like, they should look, like, he's saying that Tony Khan should look himself in the mirror and realize that, okay, I'm not the one that gave Jeff the drinks. I'm not the one that told him to drive while intoxicated, but I am the one that let him go out there and take these high-risk moves more than he's ever did in WWE before he came here. So I do share some of that blame because, some people, even Booker, like I said, he has a right to say what he wants to say. He's earned it. Will point out that the reason probably Jeff relapsed is to essentially work it out, with, painkillers, alcohol and painkillers to relieve the pain. So, look, Booker might be wrong in the eyes of a lot of folks, and he might be partially right. There is no getting around either argument or debate, about it. He might be right in the eyes of a lot of people, and he might be wrong. But again, he has a right to his opinions on how he sees things. And if he is willing to say, hey, look, AEW, you're not totally at fault, but you do need to take responsibility for allowing Jeff to, do what he's done since he's been there, then he has that right. And again, maybe to some extent AEW does share the blame, because Tony Khan could have easily, in the eyes, a lot of people will point this out, could have easily stepped in and told Matt and Jeff, okay, you guys are back together, but Jeff, we're not going to let you do any more high diving moves. Like when he did that move in that Falls Count Anywhere match or something like that, where they teamed with Darby Allin, that and Sting, basically, when they teamed with Darby Allin and Sting, that 8-man Texas Tornado match, that right there, when he did that move, that right there should have been a sign. That should have been the sign for Tony Khan, and I think some people will agree that he should have stepped in and said, Jeff, no more. You're not going to, do this anymore. You're not going to do this anymore. You're not going to take these high risk anymore. You can still do your swantons and everything, but not like what you just did. And so, again, Booker might be right in that. There's no probably debating about it. But again, he, in the eyes of some, he could be wrong. So, well, we'll have to see whether or not down the line Booker could be proven right. If Jeff comes out and says that it's because of all the high dives he's done, since he's been in AEW, that's caused him to be in so much pain, and that's the reason he relapsed, then maybe again, Booker had a point. We don't know, but whether or not AEW shares the blame or they don't, the person that really shares the blame here is Jeff himself. Jeff himself shares the blame. And I know some people might say, well, this wouldn't have happened if he stayed in WWE and he would have just taken, the offer to go into rehab, even if he wasn't, that bad, even if he was clean and all that. WWE, doesn't want to take chances, basically, they're just saying, hey, go in there just in case, and if you're in, and once we get the results back, if you are clean, we'll bring you out, and if you're not, then hey, just stay in there till you get clean. Just stay in there till you get clean, and that's about it. But again, we may never know. We may never know if this would have happened if he was in WWE or not. Or if he would have taken the advice in WWE, stayed there, went into rehab. We don't know if this would have happened or not. Because, that's a what-if scenario. That is a what-if scenario. If you kind of see what I'm getting at. You kind of catch my drift, as I like to say. But yeah, it is one of those... But yeah, it's one of these unfortunate situations to where, yeah, it's bad for Jeff, and it is causing a lot of people to say enough's enough. You need to stop, or else you're not going to have a career anymore. And you're going to do something you're going to regret. And on top of that, as much as I hate to say this, this makes AEW look bad because it happened on their watch. It happened on their watch. And, it's, like I said, it's an unfortunate situation. But hopefully it won't come back to haunt or bite AEW. It'll just be something that basically, they can bounce back from. And it looks like they're doing the right thing. They're doing the right thing and not letting, Jeff compete right now and having him go get treatment. But we'll see what happens next, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, if there's anybody that should take the full blame of it, it's Jeff. But let me know what your thoughts are, guys, and I'm out.